Hi, in this video, I will show you how to install Microsoft Defender for Cloud for server on Azure Virtual Machine with using Azure Policies. In this video, we will see how to create Azure custom policies with using existing built-in policies, especially for Microsoft Defender for Cloud for server, and how to assign that policy on Azure subscription, which will automatically install the MD agent, Microsoft Defender agent on virtual machines, which is being created, or the virtual machine which is already created in your Azure subscription. And we finally see that how does that Azure virtual machines replicate in the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. And on the other side, we also take a look at what are all the prerequisite configuration that you need to maintain on the Microsoft Defender for Cloud console, so that your subscription gets the required license and the virtual machine starts reporting to that particular the dashboard. So here, let me first walk you through the process, that is theory behind this one. So here, as you see in this diagram, so I'm going to walk you through the process here. So as you said, we're going to create a custom Microsoft Defender policy with using existing built-in policy. Basically, we create a clone of that and give our own name, and then we assign that the policy definition on our Azure subscriptions. So this is let me take another color here. So let me choose another color for assignment, say for example green color, right? So here we are actually assigning that this particular policy definition on the Azure subscription. This is our PA, or basically policy assignment with remediation, basically. So let me call it as a with remediation. So this is nothing but how we need to create the policy assignment with a remediation capability. So that is something I'm going to show you here. And then within this subscription, where the the Defender policy, or the policy which deploys the Defender agent is assigned on this subscription. Within that subscription, we're going to create an RG and deploy our Azure the Azure virtual machine. So this is our RG basically, and within that RG, we're going to create so we're going to create a virtual machine. Let me denote the virtual machine with a different color. So this is our VM actually, and yeah, so let me make it as a VM. So what happens is, so this policy, since we have deployed the policy on the, or basically we have assigned the policy on Azure subscription, which has an effect of deploy if not exist. What happens is this policy will automatically identify the targeted resource. Here the targeted resource of the policy is virtual machine, and it will deploy that MD agent, Microsoft Defender endpoint agent, on this virtual machine. And once the agent is been installed and configured, this machine gets automatically reporting to the the our Microsoft Defender for Cloud a service. So Microsoft Defender for Cloud is an independent global service in your Azure tenant. So if you see that orange color is our tenant, within that tenant we have a subscription. We have a so basically this should also come here. So let me make a little bit bigger. So basically this is how it would be. So this is our this is a bigger orange color is our tenant, and then within that tenant we have the custom Microsoft Defender policy definition. This policy is assigned here. We have a subscription, we created RG, we created a VM, right? And then once this policy assignment deploys the Microsoft Defender for Cloud for server agent, we do see an extension getting created on this virtual machine, and then automatically the Azure virtual machine starts reporting to the Microsoft Defender for Cloud console. So on the right hand side, as you see here, Microsoft Defender for Cloud, there is a prerequisite which you need to manage before you do the right hand side activity. So let me do like this, in the sense, before you do this activity, so activity which you do this one, so there is a prerequisite before to that. That is nothing but you need to enable the you need to enable the plan here. So let's consider plan with the separate color. So you need to have the the plan here. So we should enable the plan here for your subscription. So this is a subscription, the plan is subscribed in this Microsoft Defender for Cloud, and then based on that plan only, the virtual machine starts reporting into the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So here you will see that so this virtual machine reporting here, so this is your virtual machine will come here, and so it will have the endpoint protection capability will be run by the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. So basically, under the hood, this is what it happens. Yeah. And let me denote this with a different color. So let me make use of this color. Yeah. So or let me make use of this color. So basically, as I said, so why I'm bifurcating this line is because this is the prerequisite. Nothing but enablement of plan on the Microsoft Defender for Cloud is a prerequisite first you need to do before you create a definition, assign the definition of the subscription, and then create the VM for realizing that particular deployment. All right. So now what I do is I have already set this environment and it is working as expected. So for the first case, I will first take you to the Microsoft Defender for Cloud console. So this is my Microsoft Defender for Cloud console in my tenant. Within this, you go to the management. In the management, if you see here, go to the environmental settings and click on click on this tenant groups. Select your subscription. If you see here, so Defender coverage has 12 plans. In that one, I have opted only one because I wanted to have a monitoring capability or basically Defender capability on a virtual machine only. How did I do that? So I will click on this one. I will show you how you need to do that. Once you choose your subscription where you want to enable the Defender for plan, so it will take you to this particular blade basically. Or in another term, you can do this configuration with using the APIs as well if you want to build an automations here. So in this one, if you see that, so we have disabled all CSPM capability because we don't want that. So cloud workload protection is nothing but that's a part of the Defender capability. So in this one, we are targeting for server plans. On the server plan, if you see that I have activated or basically enabled this radio button and made it equal to on. And if I go to the plan here, I have subscribed plan 1 because this is only $5. Remember that plan 2 is little bit bigger to that. You can also opt in that according to if your need. Okay, so currently this is what the configuration I have managed on the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, and this is a prerequisite as I explained in this diagram. So this plan is a prerequisite here, right? So now, so this is what configuration we maintained on the Microsoft Defender as a prerequisite. And with this configuration, you have onboarded your subscription with a certain plan. The plan is targeting that have a Defender capability on your virtual machine, that is Microsoft Defender for server. Now we go to the subscription side. So this is my Azure subscription, by the way. Now here I will tell you like how did I do this part, that is creating a clone of existing built-in policy, create a custom policy out of it, and then assign that policy on the Azure subscription, right? So I will go to the Azure subscription, by the way, here, and we go to the policies. Within the policies, you go to the definition here. In the definition, you go and search for Defender. So we go and search a word Defender. So once you click on that Defender, so there is a preview built-in policy initiative. So if you like this, so there is a built-in policy initiative. Let me show you that this is the one. So that is deploy Microsoft Defender for endpoint. So click on that particular policy initiative. Policy initiative is nothing but it's a group of policy definition doing a same purpose. So in this one, I'm not going to assign this policy initiative directly because that is a little bit of the confusion there, and I have a bad experience. So that's the reason I'm suggesting you to directly go with the policy definition and assign that instead of policy initiatives, right? So I'm going to go to this particular particular policy definition within the initiative. So basically under the hood, this is the policy definition. You need to clone it and create a custom out of it. You can directly assign, by the way, but you can see the best result by having a custom policy only. So I will create the clone of this particular policy by going to this particular definition. So if I search this particular policy definition, so we should see that policy here. So let me go to this particular policy. Let me search that policy again like this here, or just go by Defender. You can also do something like this. So because this console is a little bit very slow, so that's the reason I will go the another way that I have shown you already. So we go to this particular initiative, and within this we go to this particular policy, right? You can do directly search from the search bar, or you can do like this. So there is a button called duplication, so duplicate definition. So click on that, and in the definition location you need to choose the definition location. So remember that when you create a custom policy, the definition, so when you when you're doing that, you have to specify the definition location. What is the definition location? Is nothing but the Azure creates that definition in the context of that particular in the basically location. So here the locations, possible locations are subscriptions like that. So here so you need to choose the possible location, that is Azure subscription. So in this case I have chosen this, and then so then we have chosen the locations, right? So let me so if you see here, we have chosen the location, and here you can give the your own pet name, say like MDE for cloud servers. So we're gonna give this name something like this, and then rest all option you can keep it default, and then down the line you click on the button. So there is a button here called save, and role definition, remember that this is deploy if not exist policy. So that's the reason you need to have the role assigned. So we're going to create a role definition equal to contributor, or you can choose the other roles that you want to. Why does this is basically whenever somebody assigns this policy, custom policy on the Azure subscription, during the assignment itself, this role will come as a pop-up where they can assign the role for the Azure policies, the policies application like that. I will show you what is that. So we're gonna we're gonna click on a save, which will create a clone of this particular policy, something like this, which I have already created. So I didn't do it again. If I go to the policy here and go to the definitions, in the definition I'm gonna filter down to the policy type equal to custom. So I'm gonna choose the custom here. So this is how it looks if you see here. So this is how the I have made a clone of existing one and create my own custom policy definition. And this policy definition location is my Azure subscription, by the way, and the role that belongs to this particular policy is contributor. Now if I go to this particular policy and if I show you the properties, so it has a display name, metadata, right, and it has the parameters, while assignment it has a rule. So if you see the rule, it is targeting to a Windows machines, and then it is basically if you see that the effect is nothing but the deploy if. By default the effect will be deploy if not exist, which will create a virtual machine custom extension with the name like mde.windows, right? And this is what it gonna do under the hood, which you can check it later. So this is what our custom policy definition for Microsoft Defender for cloud for server. And then once the assignment once the policy definition is done, we're gonna assign that policy to the subscription target. So this is how we have assigned that policy, custom policy definition, targeting to the targeting to the our subscription. That is nothing but this is how I have explained the diagram, right? And then if you see the parameters here, so by default the parameter of effect is equal to deploy if not exist, but it also supports the other, which you can see in the definition. All right, so if you want to exclude, you can also exclude the path, and image to exclude also can be given here. So this is what our the assignment is all about. Now let me click on edit, and so that you will have the clear glimpse of how does this policy assignment looks like. So this is our scope. This is how I selected the scope, that is subscription. And then extend the exclusion, I have not configured any exclusion. This is the policy definition name, that is which we have created, and this is the name of the assignment. So basically policy definition name is different, policy assignment name is different. The assignment IDs, this is our assignment ID, and I will go to the next one. So this is what the parameter looks like for that particular policy. Then go to the remediation. So in the remediation, if you see here, so we have added a remediation for this one. And so basically how does the remediation works is an Azure policy with the effect of deploy if not exist, or something like update. So those policy need to have an access on the targets like Azure subscription, or the Azure resource group, so that the policy can do the action, that is deploy is nothing but basically write action on the your Azure virtual machine. So for that case, Azure policy need to have the access. So that's the reason remediation task always demands the permission. So this is why the permission is all about, right? So we can also show that, and I will show you that this principal ID will have access on the subscriptions. Okay, the next one is compliance messages. So if you want to customize the compliance message or non-compliance message particularly, so this is purely non-compliance messages, you can configure the extra messages and review and create. So once the assignment is being done, So this is how the assignment happens. Okay, now what we did is, in this diagram we defined the custom policy, we assigned on it on our Azure subscription. Yeah, then we also done with the the prerequisite on the Microsoft Defender for Cloud, right? And right, then now it's part of, how does this policy works under the hood. So for that case, I have created an RG. Within that RG, we deployed an example virtual machine. Indeed, the Azure policy has deployed the extension, which I'm going to show you. So this is how the my Azure virtual machine looks like. So I have created a Windows Azure Azure virtual machine. So this is my Windows Azure virtual machines. And then if I go to the extensions, I see that, so it has deployed md.windows extension, which is basically, if I show you this one, so in the type, you see that this is Microsoft Azure Defender for Server md.windows. So basically, I'm not running any script. The Azure policy, which is basically free under the hood, it is doing my job. It is actually saves the cost. So basically, remember that, this is something, one approach that you can always look for saving the cost, because, the Azure policy is by default, the is free, but it also has a drawback of, because, the runtime and the execution has a limited time actually, like that. So this is how the Azure policy deployed. Now I will make you to believe this by going to the logs. We go to the activity logs and see that, how does that deploy if not policy action taken place. If you see here, so deploy if not exist policy action, that has created the Azure virtual machine extension. So if you see in the event written by, so if you see here, the event written by this particular the particular ID, that is nothing but, this is written by this particular Azure policy only. Now I will go to the subscription, by the way, and show you that the role assignment, how does that role assignment is happening. So if I go to the IAMs and go to the roles here, roles assignment, in that role assignment, you should see that, this is contributor role. So if you see, this is what the the enterprise application, that nothing but, Azure policy application is having the the access is being given something like this. All right, so that is how, basically, so that is how basically the Azure policy is deploying Microsoft Defender for Cloud for server. All right, and this is basically an pure end-to-end automation. So now you don't need to worry. You create a new virtual machine, it will install the Microsoft md.windows machine automatically. Or let's say if you already have some virtual machine where the Microsoft Defender is not installed, then the policy will kick in place at the next iteration, right? And it will deploy the deploy those it will deploy those those machines via remediation. So that is what, I will show you how did I do the remediation. For example, say you had hundreds of existing machine, before you assign this particular Azure policy assignment, right? In that case, a policy will not act on those machines. So for that case, there is a one workaround that is actually called as a remediation, because those virtual machines will go on a non-compliant state. So for that case, you can go ahead and create a remediation task like this. So I have created a remediation task, something like this, and it has remediated my virtual machine and it has installed the Microsoft Defender endpoint. Now, if I go to the last part, let's explore how does that it looks in the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. Now, so currently I'm in the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. I will go to the inventory here, and if I go to the inventory, it will show me that the resource names and the resource types and what is the enrollment capability. So if you see here, so we have opted only the so we have opted the only virtual machine, right? So that's the reason that's the reason it is shows that Defender for Cloud is on in this particular resource, while it has also by default has a certain Defender capability provided by the Microsoft Defender for Cloud that is still acting on these resources, that is my subnet, virtual network, and subscriptions, by the way, right? And then we go to the workload protection. So here in the workload protection, you can also see that so this is the our virtual machines reporting, right? So based on the capabilities, so it will also show you the extensive monitoring capability for your for your virtual machines. You can also see the the Defender logs from here. If you click on this, if you go back to your Azure virtual machine, and then you should see that Microsoft Defender for server is on, right? And then here you can also always explore the any recommendation something is there. So since this is recently onboarded, so it is not recommending anything, but as the time goes on, it will show you the recommendations provided by the Microsoft Defender for Cloud. All right, so with that note, I have shown you the things need to be shown in this video. And so A kind request, please do subscribe my channel. That would really encourage me a lot. With that note, thank you. Thanks a lot and see you in the next video.